Good morning, everybody. You're with, of course, Lady Hippie at the bar. Hope this finds everybody having a cool day for a Monday. Yes, am all in black, and I like this one because it's like all enveloping, and it's like five sizes too big. I can hide more of me in here. So let's see. We got all kinds of stuff going on, of course. The truck drivers are making a difference. Trump took South Carolina. Apparently, trounced Nikki Haley badly. I myself know a lot of people who want Trump back. Again, I'm one of those that don't believe in either side. I think they should all be fired. If you have money, you shouldn't be a politician. That's just my take. I've seen a lot of that have been interesting that he did do. And the one thing he says he wants to do if he does get the presidency a second time is to make sure that they do away with payroll tax. It's always been illegal to tax your wages. It's in the Constitution or the Bill of Rights, one of them. I get confused myself, but they're not allowed. And I actually know that they're not allowed because I worked for a gentleman whose whole family did not pay taxes because it was illegal, and they proved that so in the court of law. And he was an amazing attorney. And he gave me the information to do it, but I'm like one of those people that go, okay, I'm going to do this. And then 5 years later, you go, where's that paperwork? And what did I do? And you have to be like an attorney to get that done. Of course, I wanted some background this morning, and so I went ahead and I put everything on in the back. And we are now having commercials that sound like I want to hear them outside. So we're going to have one of those. It's only for entertainment days. I've been checking out Fannie Willis there in Fulton County in Atlanta, Georgia, and her ex-lover, and how much money they stole from grants and so forth so they could have those vacations. Man, I'd love to have one of those vacations. And with other people's money, of course, but I mean, what the hell? And I watched 10 minutes of it the very first time. I kept seeing it pop up on YouTube, as a matter of fact. I watch YouTube a lot throughout the day. And I was like, wait a minute. This judge is in her pocket. I mean, big time in her pocket. They won't let the attorneys even ask or redress, do a redirect on the advert. He's just like, you've already said that. She's answered that question. Move on. And her answer to that question basically was, do you want to tell me how to pay my bills? And you just want to reach out sometimes through the screen and go, yes, I do. I want to know what you did with the people's money. I want to know how you could afford those vacations. And just where do you hide all that cash in your house? Apparently, the cell phone bills, or smartphones as we call them now, kind of gave that. Uh, that might be that. Again, I want to remind everybody: hit the like, hit the dislike if you want to. I don't bloody give a blessed. Just say something. Get mad at me and throw something in comments. Got a live chat up. Get your chance. I'm the target. Take your shot. I dare you. It's like a debate team in here, and I'm the only one running the show. And I'm learning this as I go along, so I apologize ahead of time because, again, I'm learning this as I go along, and I'm one of those people with a pretty big opinion about everything. I'm an old woman. I've got grown grandchildren. And it's time one of us stood up and said, what the hell? You're fired. I mean, I can't believe we have to have an election, which I still don't believe in it. I mean, go to Google, look it up. It's the electoral college. They're out there getting states now. Okay, I want South Carolina. And you pups are going to run out there when? In November? Why? Why? Okay, why? Do you run it there and vote in November? This is all going on now. They're saying this state is electing this president. This state is to get. And again, Google it. You'll see that it's all the electoral college. That's who votes in the president, supposedly, presumably, on the direction of the people's vote, which have not voted yet that I can see until the big time in November. I believe it's right on my son's birthday, around November 3rd, 4th. I don't know, something around it. Again, why? I've seen people standing in blizzards to go vote with that little curtain behind them. They're so cute. They got a T-shirt on you can see from space. I mean, the hat, the gloves. I mean, it all says whoever they're going to vote for. And they pull that little curtain like they got secrecy. Stickers posted all over the car. 15 cardboard cutouts out on the lawn. Pull that curtain when you vote. You know, I'm sure your vote counts somewhere in the electoral college. You actually vote to the president. Look it up. I don't even know how you look it up. I dare you. I did one of those moves today. I got to admit, and a lot of people have also admitted that we've had these few years here with Sleepy Joe falling around off flags upstairs. Man doesn't remember who was vice president. He did that for 8 years. Of course, vice presidents aren't really anything to begin with. They hid that man for 8 years. 8 years. Now, everybody, this is Pixie, who's decided she really wants to get wet this morning. Hey, get off there. Go. No, and she'll squint her eyes at you like, I dare you. Love the cat. And she's already gone over now to the refrigerator. So apparently she did want a bath this morning. Yeah, you have to do the water thing. And especially with this one, I have never seen a cat tap something to take it off of wherever it's sitting. I'd seen it on television for cats, commercials for food or whatever. Never seen a cat do it in my whole days. No, we usually had dogs, but we have also had like Serenity. Our pups were still with us when we got and rescued Serenity. It's my little Persian. Um, and yet, and I didn't have to do this with them. I had to do it with the black kittens that we ended up with the whole family of the black kittens, and the mama didn't make it. So we had one old mouse to feed for a while, but they've come along. But I still worry about two. They don't continue to thrive, as they used to say in the old days. So I worry about them. I usually make it appeal. I do have a new neighbor. Well, she's the same old neighbor, but she thinks I forgot her. She was the one screaming at me in the yard, and I called animal control. And I'm like, nope, they're not allowed on my property. But you want to go ahead, you do that. You call. Good luck with that. So I got a new bitch in my corner. And she, I think, thought I had not realized who she was. She was first off, when I went out to the mailbox, I couldn't see. So I was doing that, even though my glasses, of course, darkened. And I look up and I see this woman. I know who she is. And I wondered why I hadn't seen her. She does her little walk thing. It's cute. She hasn't lost a pound. So she's looking at the curb, picking up rocks and throwing down. I'm like, I know you've been casing my house, bro. No access to you, but let's play this game. So I said, oh, hi there. And I took my hand down purposely from my eyes and continued on to my mailbox. She wasn't 3 feet from my mailbox. So she stepped about a foot closer, and I thought, that's it, bitch, I'll knock you on your ass. Because, like I said, she screamed at me when I was on my own front porch, and we won't go into that. It takes too much time. She made sure not to put a foot on my property, though. So I couldn't reach out and tap her. So wanted to. No, she stayed up in the street with her screaming. This time, instead of screaming, I guess she decided to try a different way of getting. So she's peeking around our RV, and she can't be. I saw all that. I didn't act like I did. So I'm going to ask her questions and all that. Get her condolences for my hunt house being destroyed by a tree. And I'm talking a tree that was like easily 40 foot that my husband had to go out and saw off and all this. And still has this huge mess that he's trying to get down by himself. Because again, we don't really have too many friends. Those we do have our age, we're in our 60s. Yes, I know. Shut up about that. That's an actual state secret. Don't let that out. That information will self-destruct. It's 5, 4. So I did all that. I watched a few paranormal ones, some new ones. They're getting a lot of good stuff. They really are. It's just, and it's so awesome because I don't have to go out there and do it. I just have to watch them do it. And they're funny. I love the ones that drop everything, scream, run from the house. There's only two men. I should say two podcasters because, again, female men. But technically, it's only two men I've seen not cut and run when the shit got crazy. And I'm talking, they get into some stuff like hoisted in the air by something they can't see, thrown around a room that they can't see who's doing it, throwing credenzas down and cabinets down, and actually breaking down a complete chimney and fireplace, shaking an entire house. They didn't run. They did not run. And I'm screaming, leave, 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 get out. So you know it's not a ghost, right, guys? It's not a ghost. Yeah. It's not something you want to screw with ever. Um, and you hope that nobody in your family or friends, and I see my music is getting a little louder than it should be. And my husband, of course, stays upstairs while I do my podcasts. That you can occasionally see him run behind me with a note. He's my director, so he's part of my production team. So he'll run by with a note. Bless him. He's been called to assist somebody get something done, and they recommended Robert because Robert doesn't charge you your kidney to do it. He actually makes sure you get to keep all your teeth and body parts. So he's well known for that here in our city. Once again, I should, and I'm going to call out the water company. I had actually, and I couldn't figure out why my coffee pots were doing this at first. And I managed to complain like crazy about. I'm seeing pink mold and black mold and stuff in my shower. I cleaned it 3 days ago. Same with the toilet. What is going on? And when I began to see that, I knew not to that even boiling the water, and it didn't change. You're still ingesting a lot of crap. So my husband insisted that I switch to at least purified water. So we have to buy that. We have to pay them extra money because we have a new storm drain fee. Well, it's not new. It's like 4 years old now. So I called about that when it first popped up. It's extra $10 a month. It's always $10 a month. So I kind of called them. I was like, what's this $10 about? It says for storm drainage and stuff. And we haven't even had rain in 4 months. Seriously, it was like drought out here. And they were like, "Oh, that's based on the footprint of your property." I said, "Okay, that's good to know, but why is it based on my property's footprint?" And again, it says for storm drainage, and we're in a freaking drought. What the hell is going on here? And it's we have to do this. It's a new way of a new charge, and that's what it's for. Basically, telling me the same thing. And when you don't make the rules. You just answer the flip a phone for like $4.59 an hour. And they can't even take a payment over the phone. I kid you not. I mean, you just can't make this shit up. So I'm like, okay, so how long is this going to be on? How long? I love the answer. Indefinitely. Really? Well, okay, I get it. So you're going to charge us several $100s more a year for nothing. Okay. I know that's not your decision, but you might let them know that. I guess there's a lot of us that ain't real happy with that decision, but you have a good day because I knew from the get go with indefinite, you weren't getting anywhere with this operator. And this is everybody. And my son has a much bigger home. This is his starter home that we bought from them so they could buy the new home. It was actually built for them. And at that time, a new subdivision, there were like 4 houses. A week later, there were 20. 2 months later, they had 14 new businesses and 3 new subdivisions, and I kid you not. And then they had to do it again the next year because they took Kelly Air Force Base out of San Antonio and moved him here. But Dallas City, I love San Antonio. And so we got another 68,000 people. Well, that was just the soldiers, and you could multiply that by 3, 2 kids and a wife, a dog, cat, something, goldfish, I don't know, guinea pig. So that went out. So more went out. And I used to love to drive. It's one exit to Grovetown, where my son and his wife and my granddaughter's stay. My grandson is up just past 20, so about 2 miles from me as well. But I used to take my grandson for years. Basically, through all of his high school years, he would come to me for the weekends at least. We'd go over his work or whatever had to be done. And then I would go take him to Walmart. Usually he wanted those little play cars. I can't remember what they are, but they were exorbitantly expensive. And, so we would get him a pack of cards. And my husband would be out working usually. So it's great to have his company. And then we always stopped. There was only one restaurant there at that time. You had a Walmart, a big Walmart, and you had one restaurant, which was Arby's. And I liked their cheese sticks, and he liked everything else. The kid could eat. And he's now a little over 6 foot, and he's an Army veteran too. So he went in, he said, like me. I was like, no, I went peacetime. I didn't even know I was going regular Army. Who knew I was going to have Vietnam Rangers to train me in boot camp? I wouldn't have went. Private Benjamin is really me. Close enough. We were Company Bravo, first company of women to train, not as a WAC Corps, but as regular Army. They had phased out the WAC Corps. It was a great surprise. It really was. I didn't lose one of my girls. I outranked everybody, so that meant I got all the crap if one of them screwed up. That was fun. Yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of that. Actually, I did. And I still, to this day, I miss the military. I had to make a decision. I had orders to Korea, and I had a child. And you can't take dependents. So I had two choices: give the child to the mother-in-law until I came back from Korea, or ETS out and not give custody of my child to anybody. Guess which one I picked? I'm an adopted child myself. No way was I giving my kids to nobody else and had to sign him over. Are you crazy? On top of that, my mother-in-law was a very powerful woman at the top of the line there in D.C., who ended up working with her, and I got to the top of the line. She jump-started me straight into the test, and I went straight to the top GS. And I worked directly under her. We invented or put in place the food stamp program that was the beginning, back when they had it where you had a little booklet. So, I mean, we put that in. Yeah, we invented it. We did all that. So I'm kind of proud of that too. There's a couple other ones, but we won't go there. And seeing all kinds of stupidity, like with this phony Willis, Fannie Willis, whatever the heck that is. I did think it was cute too that I wasn't the only one that, like, within 3 minutes, that all the judges bought. And he needs to be recused from the bench, and truthfully, he needs to be disbarred from ever practicing law again. The same with her, and both of them should be put in jail until they put back the funds they stole. Especially her, although he and his wife contributed a lot of money to her campaign for DA. So now there's no problem with him sitting on that bench. I mean, it doesn't even take rocket science. If I could figure it out in 2 minutes, the powers that be saw the same thing. It's not like I'm the sharpest tack in the box. I mean, So I'm still cracking up about that. And I actually was surfing this morning so I could try to find this DA for Fulton County who's supposed to be suing Trump. Mind you, Atlanta, Georgia. It's Fulton County. And they had found the smartphone records, and I was waiting to see what's going to go down next. I really waited. Is the judge going to be smart enough to recuse himself now, which is way too late? Yeah, and is she going to get disbarred like she should be for theft and so forth and so on? I don't know, but it would be fun to see. It's funny. My husband is. It's always been for Trump. I don't usually talk about politics, but they've been so flippin' funny. I don't know what they have the vice president on, but I call her the giggle girl. And there's been several times that I'll tune into them. Usually, like I said, I don't, because she's just. I want to know what are they putting in her coffee? She makes no sense when she's up there talking. Now, three words go together. And she'll talk for like 10, 15 minutes and nothing makes sense. It's like, what are you taking? Did they say, what is wrong with you? Mean, is it magic mushrooms? What in God's name are you talking about? And since almost day one, and we've called all of us, I call her Giggle Girl. I think I'll just call her something else. But she is vice president, so that's scary as hell. It was scary anyway. But then when I started seeing her, I was like, "Oh, we are so screwed." And we are. And like, we the people just need to wake up. No, I think it's too late for that. I think we the people need to, like I said, I think we need to throw some of these people out of office. Maybe I'm hoping that I'm not fading in and out. Yesterday, I had to throw a different podcast in because I fed it in and out on the actual whole video. So I just dropped another one real quick, and I haven't seen it yet. It's kind of hard to look up and see yourself on a big screen TV. It takes a whole while. I mean, scared me near to damn death. This is where I put on makeup to go out to check the mail because the kids come home about the same time the mailman does. We don't want to scare the kids. The mailman's get used to it. But, it's really at this age you're like, oh, why bother? I've also had friends and family that have known me almost 35 years down here in Georgia. Well, I back and forth to Texas a lot. I love San Antonio. In any event, yeah, all of them were like, what did you put on the weight? I was like, I don't know, but I kind of like it. I'll drop 10 pounds, go up 10 pounds. It's just the darndest thing I've ever seen. And I used to wonder why women would say this. And now I'm saying it myself. I stopped smoking cigarettes. I will light those every once in a while, and they go out, and I'll leave it, put it back in the box, or in one of my cases for a while, or the next morning. Uh, and Robert's been very good about letting me do that because he doesn't want me to. And neither does my son or my grandchildren, because it was not good when I quit smoking. I was in a lot of danger, and I won't go into that either. Might be boring. So hit the like button, guys. Come on into the social Woodstock. Let's remind everybody what peace and love meant. I mean, we're the original guys. They can call us baby boomers. I don't care. And I understand why they do. But we're hippies first, last, and always. That doesn't go away. So I want somebody else to pop up here because there's millions of us out there. I know that. I met a lot of you. You should try it. I still met you. So I added in the description besides anything and everything. I changed it to social Woodstock, anything and everything. Because I want you guys to pop out here. I have live chat on. I always check at least the chat or the comment sections, usually before the day is out. I can't say I'm Johnny on the jump on those because at the same time I'm trying to do laundry, I'm trying to do housework, this kind of thing. And yesterday I had gone to the store. I think if anybody caught yesterday's podcast, I'm not supposed to even pick up 20 pounds. Back is really bad, way bad. And a day and a half apart, I ended up doing uh, lifting in about a total of 100 pounds 3 times. And yesterday, it really caught up with me. I fell out right after I made the podcast and came back. So before noon, I was in a lot of pain. And then I find that my podcast is all screwed up. So I said, okay. And I take my medication because I had to wait for the time to take it. And it was almost working. It was enough to where I could sit up and do a second podcast and drop it in case anybody couldn't see the first one or wanted to see the second one. I don't care which one. But it's been a little while since I've been in that much pain. The last time that occurred, I ended up going back and get back to my doctor at the VA. And I had managed to avoid that for a couple of years for various reasons. It's just a pain in the arse. So, yeah. There's that. And so Robert had to take over everything yesterday. I mean, even dinner and dishes and all the things that I usually do because he's got other things that he's got to get done that he won't let me do. And he's right because when my back goes out like this, I'm just in bad shape. I'm basically, I can't move. I get to the bedroom and get on several different heating pads. And he bought me one from Sharper Image that wraps around and does the vibration, the heat, and I love all of them. He's really spent some money, I got to say, on these things that help my back. And but I'm out for the count. Here it is, noon. Stop making it real quick and throw it. And I hadn't seen yesterday's podcast. I have no idea what was going on because I was in that much pain. And yet he stepped straight into the breach and took care of everything. which is unusual because he worked so hard he was hardly ever home, and it was such a comfort to know that I could actually deal with the pain. Uh, and he was going to take care of everything else. And did. Had a wonderful dinner. He calls it chicken and stick. That's what it is. He cuts up chicken breasts and skewers, and barbecues those and so forth. It's really good. And so we had that lima beans. I want mac and cheese. I think that in there too. It was really a good dinner. But again, I could not move. I was out. He had to actually bring me my food on the tray because I was it. I had already done the second podcast, and I mean, I could not bend over just to do a load of laundry. I could not bend down to redo the cat's water bowls for the night. I couldn't do anything. If I had to do it, I could have managed, but I'd have been crying a lot. And I'm not crying, but my body is. In my mind, they're going, "You idiot! We told you. We talked about this." They have. I don't listen very well. What the hell you gonna do? You gonna call somebody to have clean your house? Shit. I ain't paying that kind of money. No, it'll get cleaned eventually. I'll just do it pieces. Again, I'm also going to throw this on Facebook. My algorithms had gone up, so you have to forgive me. I got a little giddy, but not really. I still got to make it to 1,000. I'm going to keep this channel going. I do want everybody. I know I'm not the only idiot up here that's going, "Hey, what the hell? You don't even know which way to turn." All of us need to rush our taxes in there because they got all this, what is it, 11 million illegals they got to take care of, but hotels. So, they need our taxes. We need to get that back in there. I love how your check comes in. And I was young enough to remember when my father was just livid when this first started coming out. Didn't have personal payroll taxes taken out. They did not have federal, state, county, and city taxes taken out. It did not happen. But once it did, people like my father's checks were dented badly. I mean, they were in shock and then trying to scramble. They didn't have food stamp programs. There was no help. If they went on strike, you got bread and butter if you were lucky. I mean, that's just the way it was. And the government cheese, you had to love the government cheese. And nowadays, the loaf of bread's $4. I'm like, who in the hell is watching this crap? It's now $4 a loaf of bread. Yes, I know things went up. Yes, I know gas went up. So somebody shoot these oil people, and let's go on with whatever alternative that the government has been using on the black programs for decades. Let's stop paying these oil oligarchs. Have you seen Dubai? I mean, you're talking about a futuristic city. It looks like the Jetsons landed there. I mean, also, it's kind of unusual to watch Dubai dealing with floods, and like tornadoes, hurricane winds, straight winds, as hail. Then the locust came. I kid you, can't make this up. Locust came. This was all hit there and at Mecca, and Mecca in particular. And this is where the cube is. Everybody knows the cube. It's not the Golden Rocks. What is the cube? Mecca, and that's their holiest city. Okay, where the Golden Dome is their second holiest. Um, Lebanon's been trying to get into this. They're still trying to take out ships at sea. Uh, Egypt, I swear to God, I've never seen a fence built faster, except for here in the United States when they put up people's homes. That supposedly cost $250,000, and it took them 4 days to put it up. So, yeah, I wouldn't pay for that thing. You couldn't have made me pay for that thing. It's been up with man sticks and a couple of tiles on the roof. Poor babies. When my son got there, first the water pipes burst outside, which was the sprinkler system, and caused a huge erosion problem. So, of course, they called HOA because they have that. Well, they're not responsible. So they called the people that installed them. They're not responsible. Then they turned to the water board to see what they should do. And they got told, well, you need to pay the bill. Which cracked me the hell up because he went through all of that. Because this was a lot of water. This thing had burst like in the middle of the night, and it was so loud, and it was so much of it that when his wife came downstairs, she heard it outside and went immediately outside to see what was going on. It was that much. Oh, amount of water. It was very loud, very rushing. And again, erosion was happening. I don't know if it affected the neighbors. I think they were okay with that. Then the wiring went bad. The chandelier fell down. New house. I got the starter house. We bought it, put here in '85. When the ice storm hit, we didn't have power in some of the places for almost 2 weeks. My power was out for about 10 hours. My son's power, again, one exit up, did not return for 2 weeks. So it depends on where you are in the electric grid. If the older you are, the faster you get on, which is actually backwards for most of us. So that was cool. Even with the extra amount we were paying, which actually hadn't started yet then. I think it's only been 4 years we've been doing that. So you can't get out of life alive. It's the same thing, you know. I saw that the truckers were, in New York, and they're not putting anything out. People panic when they find out, oh, they're not going to put anything. Okay. So, of course, the stores are empty because everybody ran to the store, took everything. Yeah, I couldn't. During the pandemic, I think I was saying no toilet paper. What? I call them box stores. None of them had toilet paper. They had food. No water, no toilet paper, um, no formula. Those were the things, especially toilet paper is like number one. And then you found that people were going by in U-Haul vans, literally loading this stuff up to sell when they get back home, which is so illegal. Those guys they caught. The guy with Hunter Biden thing with the whole, yeah, him not so much. I love this justice system. Yeah. Is that working for anybody? Show of hands. Yeah, I didn't think so. Again, it was kind of interesting. That's why I kind of picked up Fannie Willis this morning. I wanted to see what that judge was doing, had he been recused or not. And I got a story about having a judge being recused because I had to do that for my husband. And I fought him. He actually tried to hire me as a secretary. I said, no, get out. And he did. That's a good story. In any event, I didn't catch anything new except this went viral. When they put this up, I can't remember the name of the channel. I'm sorry. I have decided I will start dropping major points if on certain videos, I might do the picture in a box to show it. In that particular case, I really should have, because I can't remember the name. I can't remember, but they were the ones to crack it first. Only about 3 days ago, too. So it went viral. Everybody wanted to know where that money went from. Now, they had a whistleblower at this Fannie Willis thing. Excuse me, that bugs me too much. So sick. And she was a junior DA under Fannie Willis, who was the DA of Fulton County, aka Atlanta. Not a small city, folks. Lots of tax money. Lots to play with. So they fired her because she went in and said the other attorney was trying to get all this money out of the grant. And they can't do that because that's not what it's for. It's illegal. She was fired. You seriously, you just can't make this shit up. And you're like, okay. So they've known this, the powers that be. She went contacted Congress. So that she's already been pulled, and it will be testifying at the subcommittee or committee that they've erected to take care of this problem. Back in the day, they just all got together and said yay and nay, and it was done. They weren't ripping off entire cities. They weren't taking off entire states' money because the tax bases weren't like that. You weren't allowed to do that. It was one of the things the country was founded on. Your wage is a wage. That's why they got away from taxes. Remember everybody that Tea Party? Anybody? Yeah, sure has. Tea Party? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, the Tea Party. Where they dressed up as Indians, threw the tea off. Remember why they threw the tea out? Excuse was their English for asking too much taxes. Too many taxes. I got such a kick out of that because people go all the time and talk about it. They actually made, and I love that, they made the Tea Party a thing, and like the Democrats, Republicans. Again, I don't understand that bipartisan shit they can stick up their rear ends. They're not there because they are supposed to be a Democrat or a Republican. They're there to do the job they were elected to do. One job. They have one job. And they've screwed that up for at least 60 years now that I've seen. I don't know anybody out there who doesn't think that John F. Kennedy wasn't killed by the CIA. Seriously. I mean, that was a message. You keep your mouth shut and you do what you say, pup, but we get rid of you. Jackie grabbed her two kids and was out the door. They had her on the plane with her husband's blood still on her clothes. Swear and Johnson. Tell me that man wasn't ended up to his neck. And then some. You can call that a conspiracy if you want to. But my generation lived it, and we knew. We knew the truth. One of the reasons why the baby boomers, as they call us, and I call us hippies, don't really give a crap about who you vote for, who we vote for. We're not playing that game. We're not stupid. We're not going to stand out there in a blizzard vote for somebody's already elected. I tell my son and them that. They come running back in. They were all excited because they voted for Obama. I was like, well, everybody knew he's going to do that. But after 4 years, they did not run back out the second time, I don't believe. They might have. I doubt it, because at that point I said, have you guys ever looked up Google and asked it who elects the president? Oh, we do, Mom. Seriously, son. I'm not that old. Really. I wouldn't have asked you the question if I didn't know the answer. He knew that. So I'm sure they waited until I left the phones. I love people with the phones. Yeah, and their kids when they're on tablets. They don't have a bike. They don't go outside. No, no. They get on their tablets or whatever you want, maybe laptops, whatever they've got. Usually all of it. I mean, I bet you my granddaughter could put up more equipment to do a podcast than I can, and I've got two complete systems. Different generation. Different generation. This is why sometimes the women have to have a spot of stiffener. I still have my husband gets these for me. I love the little airplane bottles. No, I don't keep them. Only a couple that I got when I was actually on an airplane the last time, because it was like $12.50. They gave you the bottle. It was like that. It was stuff I still. You wanted a bag of peanuts, a cough up $4.50. I mean, and it was so tight quartered in there. I had us packed in so much that they were tossing the bags of peanuts to people. It's you know, I remember playing on. I mean, they were nice. You had plenty of room. They came, brought you sodas. They did all, and you didn't pay for that. It was included in your ticket. Then your ticket's $6,000, and when you get off the airplane, you've already spent $450. I mean, $450. Yeah, 4 drinks and some peanuts. So, it's like me going to the store. You're thinking, I'll go ahead and take 100 out of the budget. Go to the store. You get to the store and you got a roast. You got some potatoes, some carrots, got an onion or two, got a gallon of milk, and a loaf of bread. There went your $100. Serious to God. I put my list now goes on a Post-it note. And out of that $100, it might be $98, but you got $12 in tax. I love that too, because they have text 1, text 2. They don't know why. Don't ask the cashiers. The other thing I think is really cute, and I use the self checkout because there's no cashiers. They're just standing there watching you. They'll move the belt for you, which I pretend I don't understand how they're doing because it makes me laugh. So we unpaid and untrained cashiers who are paying shit for we're in there to buy stuff and give them money for it. But now we're at the cashier, unpaid. I love that. Untrained. You just got in there and went, okay, here's a barcode. It wasn't rocket science. That's not my point. My point is they say, how do you rate our store? Or our stores in place, something like that. I always give it a 5 because I'm doing all the work. What the hell do they think I'm going to do? Vote 1 star? I'm good. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And they don't intend to go back. You're not going to go back to the other system. You always have to do this. There have been times when I needed help. And usually they're, where they can see these belts. Make sure you do it. And you got a live camera on you. I always wave down. They might be bored. Sometimes I'll dance to the music that says, maybe I should add crazy to the description. I'm going to take my stiffener. Here we go. Wow, wow, wow. Mm, excuse me. I have a great husband who supports me in this and makes sure I have my little, if I want one, my little stiffeners and my little airplane bottles. He's very good about things like that. It's so cute. I love that. And sometimes when I'm up here talking and trying to do that, and I get into politics or whatever, I need a stiffener because I'm trying not to use a swear word every fourth word. And when I talk about politics, there's a lot of swearing going on in my house. And it's me. It's not him. It's me. So I'm like, okay, what do we do next? Because if the founding fathers were here, they'd probably not even waste a bullet. They just put a lot of rope in the rose garden, like they used to do back in the day when they're doing things like this. DA and her lover, the attorney she got to go after Trump. I'm not sure what all that's about, but this is about Trump and January 6th. And I know there was a problem with votes and that he had called the governor, Brian Kemp, another loser. Again, that has to be voted into office. And I actually think people do vote those little places in these little positions. And actually, they're not little because they're controlling an entire budget for a state. And you got to drive on the shoulder because there's a pothole big enough to get your old car. But when you go in to get your tags, which you have to do every year, that's $400, depending, of course, how new your vehicle is. If your vehicle is very new, you are paying out the wazoo. If your vehicle is an antique, it's a little bit better, maybe half. And I'm like, do you have to get all the taxes from one freaking driver? It's bad enough that you guys made it a law that we have to have insurance. But you didn't make a freaking law to make sure if we use that insurance all year that they give the shit back. What the hell? Maybe we the people need a lobbyist. Could you see that? Oh my God, I'd love that. I've actually sat in these hearings and stuff back in the day because I worked in DC for a couple of years at a high position. I mean, the highest position you could get. I had a friend, Senator Dole, and he used to tell me all the time, "You got to get out of DC; they're going to shoot you." And he was probably right. But it was great. Watergate was up and back then, and he was really good about paying for our drinks. I never paid for a drink there either. Hell no. The salaries these guys had, pony up. Mm. Politics hasn't changed that much. I'll give it that too. I hated the lobbyists back in the day when I was there. And I'd walk, I mean, they're stupid. They'll come past you like you don't know they're a lobbyist, or they want to go and be in your face because they're a lobbyist. But either way, it was a lose lose for them if they were talking to me. It did not come out well. I'm like, sit down, let's go ahead in here. I got a drink and a thermos over here. And at this point, you have to laugh because, I mean, otherwise, what are you going to do? Go up and get a rifle and shoot a few people like they used to do? Go postal. I remember that one. That, again, is our age group, hippies, Woodstock, come on in. I'm not seeing a lot going on with my live chat. And I'm looking at the fact that I put them on early. But that doesn't mean you can't, if you can later, you can still go get them. Just like a lady hippie and throw it in the comments. I will get it, even if you're not in the live stream. And I do think, and I've been checking into a way to drop one or two of the videos that I'm talking about, maybe in with their permission. I'll check into that. This it is for the entertainment purposes only. And politics is freaking entertaining. It's beyond entertaining. It's a three-ring fucking circus, excuse my French. I mean, but that's a clusterfuck if I ever saw one. You can't excuse my French. That was probably the stiffener. I did cracking myself up. I have actually watched on the big screen one or two of my podcasts. I last about 10 minutes ago. Oh my God. I just said that on live TV. Because you forget, or I do, that, and wanting to do this. That everybody can see you that wants to see you, and you really want to see them. I do. I don't believe for a second that I'm the only baby boomer / hippie that's up here going, "What the hell?" Yeah, we're all doing that. I mean, all podcasts I see are doing it, and it's making a difference. It's making a difference, a little at a time. Some of us may end up on witness protection. I think so. Probably me first. I always listen for the helicopters. So send the Blackhawks because I'm tired. You guys can feed me a while. That'd be entertaining. I did actually, like I said, I have one of my videos pulled, um, but I was talking about the water board's theft uh, indefinitely, and the fact that all the politicians are and have been for decades. Well, traitors is the best word I can think of, and that's an understatement. I mean, like I said, the founding fathers, they wouldn't have bothered with bullet. They wouldn't have bothered with telling you you were fired. Go look at real history for some time. Look up some of the publishings that were put out, broad streets. Broad streets is what they used to call them, and then it went into newspapers. That was a new term. But you'll see real quick, they didn't put up with that crap. Yeah, they did not. Lincoln actually had to get a loan from someone to be able to pay for his train fare ride to Washington in order to take up his duties as the president. He had to borrow money for his ticket. Yeah, that's the kind of job a politician should have. If they really want to serve their country, they shouldn't be having everything given to it and their salaries for the rest of their lives. They should have to have the same Social Security programs that we, the people, have, that they, the people that are supposed to be taking care of we, the people, have put into place. They have their own way of, I don't even know what their programs are, but they're not ours. They have much better ones for both medical, retirement, so forth and so on. What retirement? They're freaking giving you your salary for every damn year you're still alive. The other thing I can't figure out, and of Trump as well, the man, they keep going for this man. They went from the whole time that he was in office. And I saw some crap in there I would never have taken, even if I wasn't the president. If I was just a press member in the press briefing at the White House, that the president has actually taken time out to go to. And I heard people ask him the things that I heard, I would have frog marched him out of there. I would have had to wait for somebody. And they never did that. Well, I sure as hell would have if I'd been president. You wouldn't have talked to me like that a second time. And your colleagues might learn because they're the next. I see my husband's about to dash off. He's, like I said, helping out a friend, and he'll be back in a little while. And by that point, I'll be hopefully doing laundry and stuff. It's going to be a beautiful day outside. And I can't get him to sit down at the bar to do this with me. I said, "Come on, let me do an interview." I don't have nothing to say. but then he won't. He will opine for hours on politics. And yet, when I get involved, he'll say, "Don't watch that stuff." But basically, I have high blood pressure, and it goes through the roof when I see something like what I'm seeing in Atlanta, uh, the southern border. Other governors have now. I think Governor of New Mexico just went this week or last week, and are trying to get all the reservists, all the National Guard portrayed along the border. They can't take it anymore. These people are coming across. They're stealing. They're killing. They're raping. It's like we've suddenly become Russia. No offense to Russians. I should say the Soviet Union or whatever they had those guys. You can't make this shit up. We have no justice system. No, you have no justice. If they can take a man like Trump, a former president, treat him like shit the whole 4 years he's in office, and he never took a dime for salary. But you could take him 3 times and try to impeach him. And I think this is the fourth try. I can't figure out what's going on. In any event, award somebody $385 million that's accruing at the rate of $87,000 a day. It's not paid. And you cannot do business in New York for 3 years. What the hell? Based on what? These judges act like they're gods. And I know because I faced a few down, which is why I understand what the word recuse means. Those of you who do not exactly understand that word, look it up. You don't even have to go to a dictionary. You can look it up on Google and it'll read it for you. I mean, they made it too easy in some cases. But all of us have had our eyes opened in the past 15 years when the baby boomers knew in the 70s. I mean, when I was in eighth grade, we knew they were all shysters. Well, our parents called them shysters. An extra $50 out of a monthly check for parents who are poor to begin with, that's a lot of money back those days. And like I said, you didn't have a fallback. You got government cheese if you were lucky. Maybe some peanut butter. I can't remember. I think peanut butter too was one that they would throw and set up the church or whatever. Um, yeah. And nowadays you've got all these programs, they're forgiving student debt. What the hell? I had to pay my way through college. My daughter-in-law had to pay her way through hers to get her master's degree. When we get our money back, you're forgiving billions of dollars in college fees. Well, we should get our money back because we all had to go to school and get our degrees and pay for them, work 3 jobs, take care of the house, the kids, and work 3 jobs and go to college to pay for college. But this president can say, "Oh no, this is the second time, mind you. We're going to forgive all the student loans." Well, that's great. Why the hell can't you get off our wages then? Get taxes from your ass. All right. Okay, bye, darling. He didn't have his keys. He does that a lot. I do too. I'll get I'm halfway to the car. I go, "Oh, I forgot my glasses." I get back out halfway to the car. Oh, I really wanted my sunglasses. He says, "You come back 4 times before you go." My favorite coat, my blue coat, which is the one that capes out behind me, that my son said, "Hey, Mom, Matrix much," which will give you the idea what the coat does. The cats reached up and were playing with it, and it's as light as a windbreaker. And so they've ripped. I was very upset. It's one of my favorite coats, and my husband just bought it for me last year, so I was not happy with that. So now I'm going to have to stitch all these claw marks together because I ain't giving up my coat. So screw it, It's been gently used. I love that one. Gently used. Oh, you mean previously owned? That's not a term. We called it a garage sale. Excuse me. I see my ticker is going back down too. And when I jump up here, fellas, I don't really have a topic in mind. And one time I just talk off the top of my head because I'm like that. So they're going to put these under section of crazy lady. I'm not sure. You'll have to check that. If you can't see me, look under nuts. Might have the DA from Fulton County out there with me. I love that too. I mean, it was so obvious that the judge was in her pocket. Then they find that they've donated to her DA race 3 times. And no, he's got no skin in that game. It took me 2 minutes to go. He's bought 2 minutes of just 10 minutes. I picked up a 10-minute clip, literally, from the courtroom because it interested me because I'm in Blooming, Georgia. Again. Yes, I like Georgia. I can't say that I like Augusta. What I can say is I miss San Antonio. I've always wanted to be in Texas. My first duty station was Fort Sam Houston. I worked at University of Texas Health Sciences, ran my whole department, had to actually hire everybody and figure out what new computers we were going to use. At that time, Dell was new. So I threw them in and they couldn't keep up. My husband used to think it was so funny that I'd be typing away, talking to somebody on the phone, turn around, talk to him, and waiting for the computer to catch up to what I'd already put in it. Because even nowadays, they're not fast enough to do that. Not the way I type, they can't keep up. So you have to wait, you do 3 or 4 paragraphs. Because when I was writing, I'm a published author. Excuse me, I would have to do the same thing, and I don't know how any other way to type. So, and I read fast, and I used to teach typing in between a couple of colleges and high school. I stepped into the breach kind of as a substitute, and they couldn't understand how I could type so fast. And many of them would challenge me. And I was like, "It's on." They're still typing 40 words a minute, and I would blow their doors off. Yeah, so I kept explaining to them, you cannot type faster than you can read. You have to be able to read it, comprehend it, transfer it to your hands, and then put it in. You can't just look at it. And they all had keys with the letters on them. When I was trained, it was a manual without letters on it. You had a big thing at the top of the chalkboard that showed you what was on each key. So you could memorize that. And so your hands have to do that automatically. And like I said, even today's computers with, and it's nice. I mean, because with a manual, you're having to beat this thing to death. Luckily, with those, you only do 60 words a minute. Then it came out with electric, and I mean, I went smoking through. I mean, I really did. I mean, I blew up like 3 typewriters at the academy. Worked for all the doctors, and back then it was also um, they would take and record whatever they were talking about for this particular patient. Then they would send it to you. They ended up separating out, calling it data entry, but it was medical data entry, so you had to understand the medical terms. So that was fun because they get the credit. You don't. They're presenting these beautiful papers. We did those. They didn't even take us to dinner. It's just used us and left the sky. Yeah. Then they came up with temporary jobs. Love that. Yeah, love that. The Clintons closed most of the bases, threw the rest of us out of civil service. I don't know how come they have tenure for presidents of these universities, but I sure as hell would have made that my first step to get rid of tenure. Because apparently you can't get rid of these people if you don't have tenure. You can't. If you have tenure, apparently you can allow hate speech and hate marches on your property at your school, and it's legal. I'm like, you know what? That shit wasn't legal when I was not a chance, man. No way. Where are these people getting the money to go to Harvard? They're here as refugees and they can go to Harvard? Damn. They're good. They're really good. Yeah, it gets you, don't even have to pay that. The president's going to forgive all that. Trump says he's going to get rid of the payroll tax. I think I mentioned that. They had a meltdown, Congress did, when he mentioned he wanted to do that. He was wanting to cut taxes and take out payroll tax because obviously you're losing. In most cases, like my husband would pay 15,000, 17,000, my kids too each, but they base your taxes on what you earned, even though you didn't see that money. You didn't see that $18,000. That was out of your check. But when you go into your taxes, it's on what they're going to tax you for the amount of. So it's back in. I love that. Yeah, you never saw that money, but they're going to tax you on it because you made it and they took it. But you actually made it whether you saw it or not. So we have to tax you on that too. Again, when do we stand up and go, that's it. I'm sorry. Enough is enough. You're fired. Get your hands off my bloody damn money. It's time. It's time for all of us to stand up. They're supposed to, we are the people. If everybody would stand up like we used to do and say so, maybe we could change this. I doubt it. But it would be nice to give it a hell of a shot. Because when this stuff goes viral, when there's somebody with enough guts to stand up and say, knock it off, you're fired, it means something. It really does. It stands for something. Other people see it. Other people hear you. They join in. Let's make this a damn social Woodstock. Let's stand up there and say, no, you can't do that no more. I know people are afraid of the IRS. They got to make sure they got the check for next week because they got to pay for their new cars. The one after that's got to pay for their new house. I see a lot of people have become minimalists because they got tired of the government getting all their stuff. And when you die, you got 2 more taxes. They actually added a second death tax. Personally, I would love to get that and deliver that personally. I really would. I don't think that's going to happen, but it would be a hell of a lot of fun. But I got to go. I appreciate everybody. I've been seeing a few grow out of my channel, and I love all of you. I can't wait to hear from all of you. It makes my day when I see somebody subscribe, they tickled that bell. It's only 20 seconds to take it off if you don't want to be told I'm on live. It's either way you want to go with that. It helps the channel if you subscribe, it helps the channel if you like. And I just adore everybody that's out there. And we all are not stupid. We're all pretty damn smart. We know that. That's why they said they couldn't take away our Bibles and guns in the South. No, hell you can't. No, I'm going to take a lot of you with me. Send the helicopters. I need a ride. We have to stop being afraid of our government. I don't know how to do that either. But I do know that one lone person can't stand. But I have seen that those who unite together can stand. So pony up, guys. Hit me up here at the bar. Yell at me if you want to. Say what you want to. We'll talk about it. We'll throw it on the screen. But let's do this. I mean, I can't wait to hear from you guys. It's an awesome system, this is. It really can be turned in, and I think it already has been turned into social Woodstock. And I gotta go because I see my time's running low. So get out there and do something, guys. Join me at the bar. I'd love to meet you. And there you go. On that note, have a great day, everybody. Toodles.